Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hi, this is Frantz, Kantor, cartoonist, illustrator, and toon talker, and I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm the president of the Australian Cartoon Museum.
Right, so what are we looking at today? We're looking at the art of Robert McGinnis, and this is written by Robert McGinnis, an art scot, and it's published by Titan Books, over there, Titan Books. And this is a fantastic art book. If you know Robert McGinnis, even if you don't, you will after this, because you'll remember the movie posters that and pulp covers that he's responsible for. He had a very particular, very strong style, very elegant style, which he lent to some very pulpy content. So, you know, let's delve into the work. He did a lot of nudes, obviously very elegant again, you know, but very accomplished artist. These were all done with egg tempera, which is just say opaque watercolor. So opaque watercolor is his method. He had an ability unrivaled in the field at the time, and a versatility that he could do these beautiful landscapes worthy of Andrew Wyeth in a way. You know, the Brandywine School of
the American
artwork.
Okay,
yeah, of painting. A beautiful sense of graphic design, of composition from the early days, straight up, and you know, a storytelling methodology which he could employ. He had a love of women, of the female form, and was able to use that as a sort of a narrative element to tell these stories. But we'll get into them more. In more detail. So these are
7 decades.
Yeah,
Wow.
7 decades of book covers.
I'm pretty sure that everybody sitting or watching this film will have seen one of these pieces somewhere, at least.
So these were beautifully designed gouache, typical of the medium, of, you know, both watercolor and this sort of dry brush look, which is, people think, you know, oh, it's like acrylic. No, this is gouache. There's only a few artists that work in gouache well, and he's like a master of the medium.
So, for all the people out there who don't know what gouache is,
it's opaque watercolor. So
Okay.
watercolor, water-activated paint, and
so how do they? What's the difference between
opaque watercolor and
yeah,
watercolor?
What's the process?
It's the same as watercolor, except it you can't see through it.
So how do they do that? How do they do that? They add something, do they?
I'm not sure the mixture of what they do, but all I know is it gives it a very dramatic effect. So you can basically paint highlights over the darks.
This slinky style is his, isn't it? He had that slinky style.
So he has a loose style combined with the tight elements. You know, again, reminiscent of illustrators of the time. But this was very sort of looked like very pulpy, very sort of rushed paintings, very sort of roughly hewn together, roughly painted. But again, you know, with such incredible accuracy based on his pencils. The other thing I wanted to draw attention to here is keep an eye on these pinks of the flesh tones, because he had a very particular way of using pink. He would do it on the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands, the cheeks, obviously, knees, things that had some form of temperature to them.
These are all 60s, aren't they?
They look 1960,
60. Yeah.
From Dell Books. Yeah. So, you know, he loved experimenting with color. He was a master of color. color design. Very understated palette, so no bright garish colors for him. Oh no, he would leave that to the editor to put that in the logos over the top. This is an example of his pencil style, which was very descriptive, lovely, loose, still very quite loose pencil work you can see over here. And then, of course, he would tighten up with the certain elements of the gouache.
Great background.
You can see there's a lot of reserve with, showing the female form. So it's playing with the censorship, I suppose, of the paperback book covers, so that you could have a bum on the cover but not get taken off the shelves.
Yeah.
Again, these are beautifully beautiful. What do you call it? Paintings of models, right? So his hands and feet in particular are worth noting, because a lot of people tend to stay away from that area because they're too hard to draw. He actually excelled at it. You can see in the year of the 1960s, we've got this beautiful elongation of the figures.
Yeah, and also the
cartoons,
design is
the
psychedelic colors.
Yeah, experimenting with color, but again, keeping within the range of a color palette of a design. So it doesn't take away from the contrast or the values of light and dark, which you basically have to tell a story with this character.
Yeah.
So this character, the beautiful model, the girl, is to drag you into the illustration and make you buy the paperback, right? And also to stand out, not just from the other paperbacks, but from each other. So these would be next to each other, Carter Brown 1, 2, 3, whatever. So these had to be different. The whole of the idea of color palette was to be sexy, but different colors. So even within this beautiful orange, burnt orange coloring, right? He'd employ these uses. You can find pastel greens and blues and things in the flesh. So it looks like flesh. It feels like flesh. It's very exciting as a painter to see this sort of thing. And also the novelty of the poses, I mean, how do you think of a pose like that? That's incredible. And yet it would jump off the page, literally, on the paperback book cover. So that it would involve an incredible amount of variety.
Well, also he would have to know...
He's a master storyteller.
He'd have to know where all the writing was going to go
so
to.
Enough of the elements to tell the tone of the story, clever use of light and dark to sort of give emphasis to the composition. Sometimes compositional tricks and elements like shapes, stripes, squares, circles, all of these things. Graphic design.
Yeah.
So, an illustrator using graphic design is a very powerful superpower.
They're on the Riviera.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere.
Yeah, but just enough of the background to tell, a story of where they are. So this, the use of blank space, the use of areas where that strap lines are going to go, or logos and things. Seeing them without those logos, you start to appreciate the incredible amount of effort that's gone into composition.
It's interesting how he's done the smoking.
Yeah, because they're beautiful compositions without the logos, and look how crappy the logos were. So he had a lot to contend with. But even then, in spite of this crappy graphic design that they stuck on over the top,
35 cents. It cost 35 cents. My God.
Yeah, well, they were pulp comics, paperbacks.
Yeah.
So his ability to capture likenesses of actresses and models and still, with just a simple deft brush stroke, right? Put in the beautiful shoulders and
all the
anatomy.
The bones. Yep.
Yeah. Incredible amount of variety. Here he is with a very flat style, which is very reminiscent of fashion magazines and greeting cards of the time. This is 1962. So even, a man of his era, definitely. Look at this, the peacock chair, very peacock looking, and the way that he would arrange the limbs in this sort of crisscrossing they become like graphic elements in
You were
themselves.
mentioning the toes before, like they would hardly ever draw stuff like that, would they?
Well,
the other guys.
he had some kind of he had hands and toes. He's very, very good with hands and feet. Very good with.
Yeah, a lot of people try and cover him up, you know.
Yeah, but he made them look really beautiful. You know, they weren't like Barney Rubble feet.
Well, there's so many. If you look at the history of art,
Look at this, tight here and then bush, so loose around it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even then they de-batched it over here, I think, or that. No, that's probably a different version that he did.
yeah,
An alternative version. This one's beautiful. It's very subtle. But look how he did the hay. You know, it's like push, 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 done. And here he is. This is a lovely piece. Very, very loose. You know, this was the beauty of him. He was able to get all this incredible variety. You're blown out by these poses. You know, these guys, seeing these paperback book covers, people would buy these book covers for his artwork. They wouldn't read. They wouldn't bother with reading the story. You know. Here we go into a more formulaic thing that he employed during the 60s and 70s.
yeah. This is like
with
the
movie
Bond
posters.
posters. It's like the Bond posters.
So this is like, you know, the main character of the story with a bevy of models and things like that. So you know, but he had this statuesque fashion look about these women. They were incredibly well done. We're going to go into more of his movie posters in a second.
This is interesting, isn't it?
But you can see over here, gouache acts like an oil painting. See how rich those colours are, and that's the sky. This is what he's like. This is how much control he had over the medium. He was a master of this medium. Nobody could beat him in gouache. Nobody. You know, his ability to capture the likeness and to bring them to tell this narrative. You know,
Well,
the
that's
likeness of the actresses.
That's James
the actors.
Coburn, but
Yeah.
but is it?
Well, it's
They're all James Coburn. You can see.
Yeah.
yeah. From the Old Man Flint films.
Yeah, but look how elegant these poses are. This is that's probably one of his most famous models that he used a lot for
Slinky look again.
Yeah, so he elongated, caricatured arms and legs and figures to try to get this sort of incredibly powerful, elongated, elegant look, dealing with angles and curves. So, you know, he was selling the book or projecting the story by using these characters.
And that's very
right?
unusual, that background with this.
Yeah, so he'd get away with bums on. You would never do that with a photograph. You couldn't do it. But because he was such a master at the figure drawing, he was able to sort of create this. Use these figures.
No, okay.
To tell these stories.
This
Yeah,
is
so that's the
interesting
model.
because look how he's changed the face,
Yeah.
and he's changed he's obviously made the breast bigger and stuff like that. And
Well, there would be
legs.
probably 20, 30 photographs.
but look how long the legs are now.
There'd be probably 20 or 30 photographs. So this one would be used plus another 4 or 5 to get the right sort of drawing. And he would then paint over that. You can see how loose it got over here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is some of his pencils again. Like he's an incredibly master of the drawing and painting over.
They're very
over the top.
they're alluring the poses.
But look at the versatility. Look at the different colours.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You can't see artists. It's not even Frazetta can get this level of variety in the colours.
Well, look at
and
that
some of the
picture.
colours are very subtle, like these are all grey tones, and others are very sort of nightmarish, like you would see on a nightmare magazine.
They're generally running away from the house, not towards it.
So he, again,
Like this, they're always running away
artists,
from the
illustrators use these tropes, running
Yeah.
away from houses, etc., running towards things. Again, here's a use of how to use color and the nothingness or just faint details in the ceiling where they can drop in the logo without destroying too much of the film.
Just a little
something about him and
Look at the
feet
hand
that
coming
went
up.
away.
Look at the hand coming up.
Yeah,
all by
hands
itself.
and feet.
Yeah.
He just had this thing, but they're pink, right? They're pink.
Yeah.
They have warmth to them.
Yeah.
So you'll see that on cheeks and on elbows and knees and things.
That looks like it's
So
pinched
the women
from
have
Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow, the
Yeah.
picture of
But look at the amount of modelling, light and
But there's a
shade
bit of
within
Klimt
that
in here.
shade.
There's a bit of Klimt in here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the combination of flat design, which
Yeah.
came more into the patterning and the arrangement of the shapes, because they're based on very simple shapes. You can see the holding pattern of this circle, the punch, create immediate negative space to hold the characters at play. Again, more of the tropes of romance fiction, historical things. There's a lot of, you have to do a lot of research for this sort of stuff. But, occasionally you'll get wow, there's a tree there.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
Ooh, full-blown illustration.
Yeah.
Great angle too, looking down on the... So this is from... just...
Yeah, there's a lot of work there.
Yeah, a lot of work.
What are they? Acorn leaves.
Yeah.
See how beautiful they create the compositions. That's it. Variety. There's no two pictures that are alike. Some pictures are similar.
Yeah.
But he goes for this incredible amount of variety with the illustrations, with the poses and the colours and composition.
I knew he wasn't going to get away with that one.
Yeah.
Look, they stuck a thing on it.
Yeah. Even the side bum.
Yeah.
Don't know why they're...
Well, it's a man.
Oh, and the boob. The
Yeah.
side boob.
Yeah.
Big gold sticker.
That's classic, isn't it? Look at that picture. What's this from? Okay.
Bantam books.
Yeah.
Letters from Philippa. So it was just so many book covers.
Hard case crime.
So many book covers. It's just so prolific.
Bored out of her
So,
brain.
Yeah.
Bored out of her brain. And
Yeah. So, it just elegance. He would tell stories with these things everywhere. He'd put in little things, little elements to give you, like it would be a pleasure for him to research.
Yeah.
But it gives us it gives the painting so much richness. These are beautiful likenesses. Yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
That's an iconic movie poster.
Yeah.
So is that.
Yeah. The slob.
Yeah. He'd be called upon to do magazine covers for films, movie posters for films, TV guide illustrations.
Oh, Bond.
These are going into the Bond era. These were very iconic. This set the mood.
This is...
They couldn't, for a long time, they couldn't break away from this.
That's right.
They were so powerful.
Yeah.
They're like I called them, when I was a kid, I called these the Swiss Army knife illustrations.
Oh, because
you've got
there
the
was...
central theme of Bond, and you've got all these girls that pop out like the spoon and the comb and all this stuff.
Yep, okay.
This is probably the first one that I've ever seen.
Okay.
So it's got everything in it, all of the action, the car chases, the boat chases,
Yeah.
the tarot cards, the guns, and Bond himself, Roger Moore.
Well, this is... Look at all these different
are
poses. These girls all around here. It's almost like a...
Yeah,
It's like a...
it's a border pattern.
Yeah, but it's an Indian... the sculpture
Well, that would be an
things.
anniversary poster. That's
Yeah,
like
well,
a
they're all
special
there. Look,
edition.
they're all there. Look.
Yeah, so it's a special edition.
Yeah.
Hallelujah Trail, again, these are, oh my God, what are these? These are storyboards.
That's right. They're mood and storyboards.
Yeah. So here we go into, there's so much stuff.
Arabesque.
Barbarella.
Yeah, he did that one, okay.
That one. That's
Yeah,
a
that
famous
one. That
picture.
one, yeah.
And he did this version of it.
Yeah. I remember that poster.
Yeah.
That's
So again, the variety and the attention to detail, the inventiveness of it.
That's a fantastic film. It's epic. Oh, and this is Shaft. Oh,
Yeah, getting into the psychedelic era.
Yeah.
Still, very good handle on colour.
Yeah.
Again, with the pulp era. Comedy, loved comedy, could get really into that. It's still funny but elegant.
Yeah.
So it's a very versatile, he's a very
serious
incredibly
here.
versatile
Getting
painter.
serious here, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Again, he loved doing the women, the nudes, this was that's a famous poster. That one there, semi-tough.
And now we're
Again,
starting-
magazine illustration. These are like they pay the bills, obviously. You know.
Not anymore.
They tell no, not anymore. Saturday Evening Post.
Yeah.
So these are illustrating short stories which people would use. This is from men's magazine, so now you get into the permission zone of nipples and pubic hair. I suppose they're able to paint them. And again, he had several models, but used to do a lot of
Andrew White.
paintings
Andrew White,
using
yeah.
one. Andrew Wyeth again, yeah. So it's again, you know, such an incredible versatility that he had. But he was able to use gouache in this sort of an oil painting
Look at that.
method
That's lovely.
and
That's
watercolor. Yeah. Well, it can be subtle. This is you can see the sponge up
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
Sponges,
yeah,
right. So loose.
yeah.
With tight pencils or fairly tight pencils, you can see that the pencils are really solidly drawn.
Yeah.
Beautiful three-dimensional drawing. And you know his design, of course, comes from it's a what do you call it? Open composition. It's an open composition. Comes from studying photography and in particular the French Impressionists who used cameras.
Who
Not
use
just-
cameras?
Yeah, not just to study light, but to study composition as
Have a
well.
ball here with all that
Yeah,
flowers.
see how beautiful it is. You know, light and shade, drama,
Lovely.
variety of
I'd
compositions.
like to see that. What
Angles.
size is this? Doesn't tell you.
Doesn't say it's a cover, so it would be
Yeah.
you know, 4 times, probably 3 or 4 times the size of the
So
paperback.
what size do you think? Or
It's
he
another
worked
beautiful
big? Do you think he
tempera
worked
cover.
big?
You could see with the signature and the
Yeah.
sponging,
Yeah.
sometimes the brush strokes will sort of dictate there's probably a A2 in size. So it's like an A3 wrapped up. So it's twice the size of this. So not too big and not too small.
Rockwelling.
Again, you know, these are-
Rockwelling, isn't it?
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
And these are very Andrew Wyeth.
Yeah.
The study of light and shade. And colour.
Yeah. Have we've got an art critic, have we? Shh. We've got an art critic.
Yeah.
Ah, National Geographic. Ooh, look at that. Had the drama in that.
Yeah. A lot of beautiful action. There's a Hokusai wave. He snuck in there.
He snuck in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's, you know, the ability to do these sort of patterning
Yeah,
of
yeah.
sails to break up the elements,
Yep.
you know, break up the little scenes so that you go like a little, you know, journey throughout the
Yeah,
painting
yeah.
back into the background to see what the tale tells. Advertising, of course, is very popular. You know, and,
Well, see, this is very strong. All this side
this
stuff.
is an unpublished, probably a magazine commission
Yeah.
for Camelot.
I know it sounds a
Might
bit
have-
bizarre, but in Camelot, that's how conditions are.
Yeah.
Gallery arts.
So gallery art, he was very prolific with painting. I wonder what he painted.
Look at that leg. Look at that ankle. He definitely was 97.
Ah, yeah, these are oil. Okay, so he would
That's
use
97.
A similar,
That's 2003.
yeah. So he would use a similar approach to oil painting as he did with gouache. So working from the loose to the tight, based on very tight, fairly tight drawings, of course. These are tempura. This is oil.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. They're
There's a
beautiful.
sketch
Look
to
at that.
this. A sketch here.
Huh.
Yeah.
Incredible.
They look about 1.5 heads longer than the average girl.
So his tempera style and oil style almost indistinguishable. You can see that he had that ability to use tempera or opaque watercolor in an oil painting technique almost, or an oil painting look.
That's
so
strong.
it had a lushness about the
Strong design.
tones,
Strong
skin
design.
tones.
And they're very skinny girls, aren't they?
Yeah, he wasn't scared of Western paintings, you know, like Remington's
Yeah.
style,
Well, he's
Man Against the Wilderness.
Yep.
Very powerful
Look at that.
icons.
Look, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
beautiful
wonderful.
use of texture.
That's wonderful.
Magnificent. Yeah, this is a very Remington look.
Like a set look. But look at this. Look at the.
So the
And look,
color
look,
again.
a little Indian up here.
Yeah. Again, the colors, the depth, the drama of the scene, the contrast between foreground and background.
Yeah.
That looks like a David Lean.
It does.
Very cinematic.
Yeah.
So he would be very, directors, I'm not kidding, directors would look at these and say, I can film that.
That's right.
That's what they're all about.
Well, that's what they want. That's
Yes.
what they want from a guy. I mean, that's obviously John Wayne.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Ah.
Camelot again.
Look
he
at
loved,
that. It looks like
drawing these these scenes told by the sun, light
Yeah.
and shade,
Yeah.
is incredible. Very much a Wyeth exploration of light and reflection and texture. Again, look at the composition of that, It's just magnificent, the way that he composed things.
And the
It would
tree-
just be perfect on its own.
the tree's half rotten and
Such a lot of variety and colour and composition. Magnificent stuff. I'm really, really chuffed to
wow.
look at his stuff. There's many more paintings, of course, online. You can bookmark him on Pinterest and follow his work. He's still alive. He's still painting. And this is Paddy McGinnis. Paddy McGinnis, that's a writer. Robert McGinnis.
It's Bobby McGinnis.
Yeah, Bobby McGinnis. The Art of Robert E McGinnis. And this is a fantastic book. And please rush out and buy it. Go to Stuart NG Books and
Truly
pick
the
it up.
gold standard. Truly the gold
So
standard.
did you like this?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
From a movie point of view, it's I
Yeah.
think unparalleled.
Yes.
Movie posters.
Okay. Well.
This is Frantz Kantor
And
and
Jim Bridges saying, check us out on YouTube
yes,
and subscribe to our red button. Press our red button.
press the red subscribe button
Yes.
and ring the bell. Hit the notification bell to see more videos. We've got 250 videos online.
Plus.
Yeah, and if you'd like, please subscribe. And if you'd like to support us with monetarily, you can hit the link underneath, which takes you to our Patreon page.
Yes.
We'll see you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.